All right, Gashuhi there. He'll be giving us more later on. But let us go back to our conversation where we were speaking about cervical cancer. Remember, January is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. And right now we are going to be talking about the HPV vaccine. Benda, perhaps if you can talk to us, because this vaccine was launched in 2019 by retired President Uhuru Kenyatta, and the Ministry of Health anticipated that at least 3.2 million girls would have been vaccinated by June of last year, that is 2023. But as we stand to date, only 2 million girls have been vaccinated. Of course, there's so many myths around it, including infertility. How effective is HPV vaccine to young girls?
So, you know, in Kenya, we've only had the vaccine now. This is the 5th year. And so we know the effects of the success of the vaccine will be seen in another 10 to 15 years when the girls who have been vaccinated start having marital relations and start having babies. And we start screening them for cervical cancer. But if I was to take you back to the history of the vaccine, this vaccine has been around for over 20 years now. It has been introduced in countries such as Australia, the UK, the US, and in many developed countries, it has been being used for over 15 years now. And some studies were done in those countries, and it was seen that girls and women who had been vaccinated with HPV vaccine were actually at a lesser risk of cervical cancer. The ones that were presenting with cervical cancer had not been vaccinated. And so it has been proven to reduce up to 98% of cervical cancers. And therefore the vaccine is efficient, it's safe, it's been proven to work for cervical cancer elimination. And what's the most exciting thing for me, it's available to Kenyans, for our girls, free of charge. The government takes care of the cost of the vaccine. So it saddens me a lot when we hear statistics of number of girls vaccinated, 58%. And I'm thinking to myself, Kenyans, what are we doing? We're gambling with the futures of our daughters, okay? We are protecting today for cervical health in the future, okay? Most parents today have vaccinated their children against many diseases, childhood diseases, okay? And so we have, between the ages of 0 to the age of 5, quite a number of vaccines that are given to our children. And we've trusted them. And we know they're protecting our children for the future. Why is it that when we get to the girl who is 10 years old, then we start saying, oh, you know, vaccines will cause infertility? Really? How about we focus on what the real issue here is? Cervical cancer is real. Women are hurting. Our women are dying. They die at ages when they're the most productive in terms of building the economy, productive in terms of raising their children. When you lose a woman who is 30, 40, 50, this is a woman who has children she's raising. This is a woman who is a worker at the workplace. This is a woman who is running their own kiosk, or a woman who is running their own business, or a woman who is still very actively involved in the society. We've lost a resource. And yet at the vaccination point, we could have prevented all that. Right. So for me, I say, as opposed to dwelling on the myths and misconceptions of the vaccine, let's educate Kenyans to understand it's safe. It has been proven in other countries to prevent cervical cancer. It's available here at no cost to our children. And therefore, it can be given to anyone who is willing. For the ages of 10 to 14 years of age, the government has planned on that. And what's interesting, it was introduced in 2019. Year on year, we have girls who are graduating into the age of 10. Year on year, we have girls who are 10 to 11 to 12 to 13 to 14, some of whom have not been vaccinated. The government has put mechanisms for it to be available across the country in all public health facilities that have vaccination centers, and even in private sector, available at no cost to the families. Could we take our girls to prevent?
All right, someone out there might be thinking that you're only talking about the vaccine is only effective for girls under 15 years. What about older?
So the reason the vaccine can be administered to girls ages 9 through to age 45. Because remember we mentioned it prevents other cancers as well, not just cervical. There is anal cancer, there is penile cancer, there is vulva, vaginal, throat cancer. Different types of HPV cause different types of disease in the body. Cervical cancer is proven to be caused by 16 and 18, which we're vaccinating for. So if we go to the science of prevention, and we say that for girls who are not yet sexually active, or girls in their adolescence, they ages 10 to 14, it makes good sense to vaccinate them then, because the way vaccines work is they're building immunity. So that in future, when they start engaging in these things, when they start having their own babies, when they are in that reproductive age, and HPV comes knocking, the body will be prepared. Tell no, this is dangerous, we need to deal with it now, because they were given the vaccine and the body builds immunity. So the time to prevent is now for the future.
All right.
Okay.
Maybe 1 minute each, just a parting shot on what you would want to tell women who are undergoing cervical cancer at the moment. What's the parting shot to them? And then Brenda will close up.
Okay. To me, mama yoyote mwenye anapitia cervical cancer for now ni aende hospitali, kwa sababu tunamshukuru Mungu for now hapa Kenya tuko na treatment ya cancer. Aende hospitali apate matibabu venye daktari amemwambia atapona. Watu wengi najua wana advise wanaenda unywe dawa ya kienyeji, but hiyo haiponyi. Nimeona watu wengi wanatumia kienyeji, by the end of the day cancer inalipuka na tunampoteza mgonjwa. So waende hospitali na watibiwe.
Your organization nini inafanya, just quickly?
Okay.
Support.
Jidhamini Dada Support Group. Sana sana tunaongea na wamama waende wafanyiwe early screening. Na wakifanyiwa hiyo, wakipatikana nayo, tunatembea nao. We work together. Tunawaonyesha what to do. Sana sana kama mtu wakati ule umepatikana nayo, tunaangalia huyu mtu yuko na NHIF. Kama ana, tunaona venye ataipata, ndio at least sahi NHIF ina cover kidogo. So matibabu inakuwa easy. Na tena bado tuko na walk on 28th. Tumepanga walk. January being a cervical cancer month awareness, tulikaa chini na Mama Lucy Hospital na other organization. Tuko na walk on 28th, na mtu yote mwenye ataweza kuja, screening itakuwa free hapo. Na pia kutakuwa na cancer survivors, tutaongea, we will work together, we will support each other. Another thing, pia tunaomba support to anyone.
All right, Brenda, your parting shot. Cancer is very expensive. In just under 1 minute, what should the government do? What policies should be placed?
You know, Kenya has a lot of policies on cancer prevention, cancer treatment, cancer control. In fact, we're into the third cycle of the cancer control strategy, 2023 to 2027. I'm not concerned about the policies. What I'm concerned about is the implementation and the awareness, education, and access for women, for men, for communities, to prevent that which is preventable, to treat that which is treatable, and to palliate and survive through cancer. My parting shot. Most often people fear that cancer is a death sentence. I can tell you through my organization, Kilele Health, we've seen tremendous action by survivors. We've seen people who are thriving and living beyond cancer because they took action early, because they are taking life as is today. None of us is promised. However, if we do the right thing today,